It is all about achieving economic sovereignty in the context of the rise of global Africa, according to Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, as he made a presentation at the Intra-African Trade Fair being held in Algiers, Algeria. The Intra-African Trade Fair, being hosted by the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria in Algiers, has significant support coming from the African Export-Import Bank in collaboration with the African Union Commission and AFCFTA Secretariat. Prime Minister Drew placed his remarks in the context of the experiences of the slave trade, colonialism, and the struggle towards independence, as he called now for developing, quote, transatlantic bridge of hope, where we reconnect the Caribbean and Africa, end quote.
I want to bring a message from the Caribbean that we are much integrated and we are much interested in bringing a greater relationship with Africa as the continent and its sixth region. This will help us to create opportunities for our people and to rewrite a history, but a history not written by them, but a history written by us, for us, by us, for our own interests. And I will finally wrap up by saying, there are a few quotes that I heard today, and one of them came from the president. And he said that the African population is a youthful population. While other regions are aging, Africa is blooming. That is a great opportunity that we should take advantage of. I listened also to President Orama, and he quoted a great African leader. And he said, political power without economic power is glorified servitude. Those words are tremendous. And I listened to the deputy of the African Union when she said if we don't trust ourselves, in a sense, then we can't expect others to trust us. And my final quote as I make a call to action, that the train of the African upliftment and movement is moving. And I ask all of us to join it. Thank you very much.
Dr. Drew said recently that the emerging global Africa must deliver tangible benefits in trade, investment, cultural flourishing, and poverty reduction. Glenn Barrett reporting for SK Newsline.
The St. Kitts and Nevis delegation ended their CariFesta 15 experience on a resounding high note with an explosive performance on Country Night. The masterfully crafted presentation, a cultural fusion featuring music, dance, theater, spoken word and visual art, commanded the attention of all present and paid stirring tribute to the rich history, resilience and creative spirit of the Twin Island Federation. Creative Director Ms. Julie Martin shared insight into the much-talked-about showcase of the Federation's excellence.
Sure, I thought it was a very powerful performance of the creativity and pride of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I really loved how the audience connected with the performers. Our creatives gained regional and international exposure. They had numerous networking opportunities, and I think it was an opportunity to grow, especially having noticed how the audience connected with them and loved them oh so much.
Among the highlights of the evening was a live painting by visual artist Milano, whose brushstrokes on canvas unfolded in real time, adding yet another layer of dynamic artistry.
This concept represents home. We're from St. Kitts and Nevis. On the right-hand side, you see a blue face, but this section shows our Timothy Hill. It's the most beautiful destination any tourist can tell you in St. Kitts and Nevis, famous. And on the right-hand side, it shows our national flag. Now, this is ideal for us because we are here to represent our nation, and I used national colors in this piece of art, especially the eyes, because the eyes are the most focal point for any art piece, especially when you're doing portraits or anything. Overall, it's an exceptional piece.
In the lead up to Country Night, Carifesta audiences were already treated to sweet samples of the delegation's artistry. But while the earlier performances were appetizers, the Country Night presentation was the main course, a feast of creativity that left the audience in awe.
The performance was very lively. I told myself, y'all love to party. Y'all party from the beginning to the end. It was like y'all got real energy. And it made me feel like, well, come to experience y'all culture.
So tonight, St. Kitts was amazing. So I will visit St. Kitts soon. But I'm not going to visit St. Kitts. I will go and play performing for the whole country. But tonight was amazing. And tonight pushed me forward to going to St. Kitts. So the culture is amazing. Keep going, keep pushing. I love St. Kitts. All the love from Haiti. Culture, Lord, SK and Park.
The multi-genre performances by Joel, Ruckus, Idali Napi, Vakil, Mighty J, National Carnival Monarch Druzy, the String Band and Panis, Leroy Paris, Ashanti Paris, MJ Byron and Javid Allen, all backed by the dynamic Revealers Band, had the audience on the edge of their seats. The music, spoken word, powerful narration, and seamless choreography fused together to create a perfect symphony that showcased the best of St. Kitts and Nevis. Beyond the grand stage, the delegation also excelled in other arenas. On Saturday, Dylan screened a film he completed following an intensive week-long film production workshop, a project that was met with glowing reviews from participants and festival goers alike.
The film I created is actually a fusion of the spirit of the creator, which is the Holy Spirit, as well as some ideas of having a creative that isn't recognized in a very big space of other recognized creatives, trying to find a space here at Carifesta, to be exact. And so it's encompassed with a poetic monologue while showing some artistic design. So the shoes, anything that was at the Grand Market, the shoes, the paintings, the music, the drumming, the dances, etc. So it was really to say that wherever you see a creative, there's both a beautiful piece of art as well as the spirit of the creator, which is the Holy Spirit.
The delegation's musical prowess shone once more during the Calypso Super Concert, with performances by Junior Calypso Monarch, the Mighty J, and National Calypso Monarch Druzy, who captivated the audience and underlined the Federation's place in the pantheon of Caribbean cultural giants. The curtain may have fallen on Carifesta 15, but the legacy of St. Kitts and Nevis' showing will echo for years to come. From the intimate workshops to commanding stages, the delegation represented their nation and embodied the heartbeat of all it means to be from the Caribbean. St. Kitts and Nevis' Country Night performance in particular will be remembered as a cultural watershed moment, one that celebrated identity, showcased excellence, and reminded the region that the Federation's artistry is second to none. Beyond participating in Carifesta 15, St. Kitts and Nevis unequivocally stamped their mark, leaving audiences inspired, moved, and eager for more. We did it. We came, we saw, and we conquered, representing our beloved nation, culture loud, and SKN proud.
Your favorite TV shows are just a click away with TVC Plus at tvcplus.live. Stream our 24-hour live programming. Catch the latest episodes of TVC Originals on demand. Enjoy premium pay-per-view content and so much more. Watch on any device, TV, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. Visit www.tvcplus.live. Stream, watch, enjoy.
Tune in to Insights on TVC, where we explore the unique stories and perspectives of our fascinating guests.
I used to get in trouble for talking. I am really angry. I forget English.
I had good examples of what people could become.
Each episode brings you an in-depth look at individuals from diverse backgrounds, sharing their personal journeys and valuable life insights.
I don't know. We're gonna bathe here because Papa Bratcher says nobody owns the beach in St. Kitts.
People who sound like this and saying that they're like 15, I'm like, you have a beard.
Insights airs on Mondays at 8 p.m. with rebroadcast on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Only on Television Caribbean, TVC. You can also stream on demand at tvcplus.live.
At The Cable, we believe in giving back because when our community thrives, we all do. That's why, as a company, we make it our mission to touch the lives of everyone in St. Kitts. We spearheaded the renovation of J&F Hospital lobby to ensure better care for all. The Cable sponsors free Wi-Fi in every community center across St. Kitts, so no one is left behind in an increasingly connected world. We stand with communities through every moment, big or small, in culture, education, youth development, and more. Y a ti también, comunidad latina. Cuenta con nosotros. Estamos con ustedes. And when it comes to customer service, we set the standard. We're just a call, click, or visit away because you matter to us. Join the company that truly cares. The Cable, more than service. We're family. Somos familia. And we're proud to always give more where it matters.
It's entertainment TV at its finest. Join us for Main Event, the Caribbean's leading entertainment show only on Television Caribbean TVC. Tune in as our host chats with top artists and entertainers, bring you the latest buzz in entertainment, and showcase the hottest music videos from the region's biggest stars. Main Event airs on Thursdays at 8 p.m. with rebroadcast on Fridays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. When it comes to entertainment, it's always the Main Event on TVC.
St. Kitts and Nevis's Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew is joining other CARICOM leaders plus regional and international representatives in attending the CARICOM Africa Union Summit slated for 7 September in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The heads of state will meet with their African counterparts under the theme Transcontinental Partnership in Pursuit of Reparatory Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. Notably, the summit will have representatives from the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and the heads of the African and Caribbean Development Banks, as well as from Afrexim Bank. The summit will mark the first occasion the African Union and CARICOM are meeting in person. Prime Minister Drew is quoted as saying, quote, "We are Africans by descent. Why shouldn't we build bridges back to Africa? These partnerships mean educational opportunities for our young people, new markets for our farmers and businesses, and stronger cultural and spiritual connections that unite us as one people across the Atlantic," end quote. Over the past 2 years, the building of stronger relations between countries on the African continent and countries in the Caribbean has accelerated with a number of initiatives and projects in the pipeline. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
The ECCB and the ECCU Bankers Association and the Ease of Account Opening Working Group recently hosted a town hall meeting at the Antioch Baptist Church in St. Kitts to highlight the features of the new account. Among the panelists were ECCB Governor Timothy Antoine, who stressed that financial inclusion means more than just access to banking services.
We truly believe if our region has to grow, if it has to thrive, if we have to pursue our big push, which is double the size of our economy over the next decade, everybody has to be included in the financial system, except bad actors. And that is why we are here tonight. So I want to conclude by saying I'm grateful to the ECCU Bankers Association, my colleagues, and my colleague Levaya for the work they've done for the last year or two on this issue in partnership.
There were also contributions from other panelists. President of the ECCU Bankers Association, Rolf Phillips, Working Group Chair Nolan Gabriel Boyer, Co-Chair Ron Leon, and ECCB Deputy Director Levaya Burton Mark.
You cannot have another bank account already. This has to be your first bank account. It's restricted in your annual deposit, so $3,000 per month or $36,000 annually. It can be jointly or singly. It is interest bearing. It attracts no charges. You can use it for ATM, point of sale, and other types of transactional activities.
Continue to collaborate with the central bank to improve access to financial services. Many people are not aware of the clearinghouse, automated clearinghouse for processing checks, and the central processing of credit card payment transactions, all of which were collaborative efforts between the banks in the ECCU and the central bank. So this is our first effort, however, that is directly customer-facing to impact how customers access to financial services and access to having a bank account across the ECCU. I should say, however, that banks individually have been continually making efforts to try to make it easier for customers to open bank accounts. But I'm sure you would appreciate that if every bank is working on this individually or as part of a local association, they are interpreting legislation and saying, okay, how far can we go and what exactly can we do and how do we put these arrangements in place that customers can have an easier time. And some customers are in fact benefiting already or have benefited over the last few years from an easier process.
I could say there are two things that we try to do when we look at the risk that is associated with bringing in a new customer. And just to simplify this for your understanding, we try to ensure that we're meeting the expectation and the requirements of legislation. And we also try to ensure we're meeting the expectation and sometimes requirements of international standards or bodies across our waters. And that's a very big one. And I think we've spoken about some of the things that we have here, and we were able to get past legislation, but sometimes it's more than the legislation. Quite often, unfortunately, it's a lot more than the legislation. It's the bank saying, I need to ensure I am good because I need to continue business with my international partners, my correspondent banks. We have partners that are strategic to the business that we cannot afford to lose. And because of that, we would have decided that we need to put these policies and procedures in place to ensure that we can continue that business. And in retrospect, maybe a bit self-righteous, but we said this is for the betterment of everybody because we want to make sure the financial sector is secure and we continue to operate to provide these services.
And I wanted to indicate here, there is no distinction between our licensed financial institutions, that being the commercial banks or credit unions. They're governed by the same piece of legislation. Where we have witnessed the distinction is in the operationalization of the legislation, and that means the application within our financial institutions. And so to the person who would have posted the question online, yes, indeed, we have given consideration to what customer due diligence is supposed to look like, enhanced due diligence, but more so, what simplified due diligence is supposed to look like. And so as part of that, and Mr. Phillips would have indicated when he was giving his opening remarks, we have a fragmented system. You move from one financial institution to the next, and they're each going to ask you for different requirements as it relates to what is due diligence. We also have to take into consideration our risk framework. So many of us could attest, I have been to a bank, I've walked in, nobody has assessed my risk, they don't know where I work, but I've been told you need 2 pieces of ID, proof of address, job letter. And by the way, you who do not have an account, I need a bank reference letter from you. So how am I going to open that account? And so what we have done as part of the working group is in partnering with our financial institution is to lay the framework within legislation and also in compliance with international best practices, international standards.
To open the basic bank account, customers need only present one valid photo ID, part of a simplified due diligence process that promises an easier and more customer-friendly experience. The account comes with several benefits. It's free to open with no maintenance fees, no minimum balance is required, you earn 2% annual interest, and customers can deposit up to $36,000 a year and enjoy access to the debit card and online services. However, overdraft and checkbook facilities are not included. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.